All right, guys, I'm really excited tonight to have our guest with us, Rob Schwartz. And man, Rob, you're going to be difficult for me to introduce. And I'll tell you why, because usually my guests, they are really strong in one thing, one or two things. So I can say that they're into, they're a hip hop artist, or they're a producer, or a label owner, or an author, or an actor, or a comedian, whatever it is. But the list of accomplishments and things you've got your hands in is pretty long. It's pretty impressive. Um, so let me give a highlight, or what I think are a couple of highlight real items on the list of things that you're involved in. Of course, CEO and founder of HUMAG Multimedia and HUMAG Distribution, Sony, Orchard, over 500 titles, including a Grammy Award-winning album, 2 #1 Billboard albums, HUMAG TV. Man, where else should I go? The first hip hop and R&B network to air on Roku and Apple TV. You're involved a lot in films and music videos. International speaker, I've seen. Spoke at the Warp Conference in Seoul, Korea. I've been to Seoul myself, and I haven't spent a lot of time there, but 50,000 kids, that's super impressive. It just goes on and on and on. So when people ask you, what do you do? How do you introduce yourself?
That's the hardest question I have to answer. I kind of have to gauge the person and say, like, all right, if I tell them I do this, they're not going to understand it. What will this person understand? And that's kind of what I go with. But basically, I'm the CEO of HUMAG Multimedia. Everything kind of stems down from the parent company. So,
Multi being the key word in multimedia.
Yeah. And I love what I do. I mean, that's the main thing too. Is that I did corporate America for 10 years in finance and risk management, and I built this whole company while I was there. So I kind of structured a little differently, and I decided after 10 years I'm leaving, and I'm just going to build my brand my way. And I love music, especially hip hop. Hip hop is by far my specialty. And I used to be a songwriter. I used to work with some of Babyface's camp as a songwriter, and I always wanted to be a songwriter. And I realized that wasn't the lane for me. When I got to accept it, I just opened up a whole other world for me. And I just wanted to do everything else with music. I can't sing. I can't rap. I can write, but it didn't go the way I wanted to. So let me build up an instrument for everything else. And that's kind of what I did.
Man, I love when these conversations go so organic, but that is a conversation that I've been thinking, how can I have with my following? Because I've got, 10,000 plus on Instagram, 800 students enrolled in my marketing courses, hip hop music marketing courses. And the conversation I've been thinking about the last week, and I can't believe you just touched on that, was some of these guys need to understand you can love hip hop. I love hip hop. I mean, if you cut me, I bleed it, but I'm not a songwriter or a rapper. And a lot of these guys are okay artists, but I think they need that self-awareness that they don't really have the chops to go all the way. And that's okay, right? Because you can love basketball, but you might just be a pickup player, or you might be a mentor, a little league coach, or you might be able to go to college, but you ain't going to the pro.
Yeah.
But the key to that conversation is not to hurt anybody's feelings or talk them out of their dream, but the idea of having the self-awareness and being able to pivot and still stay in the arena that you love, but just in an area where you'll really excel.
Yeah.
Man.
It was funny because I had this conversation with this guy who was a photographer, and he worked at JCPenney's taking photos of JCPenney's, right? And he sat there and told me how much he hated his job. He's a real photographer. He wanted to do this and that. And I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, you're still doing what you love to do. It's in a different way, but you can be on the answering phones all day. You could be selling shoes, but you're taking photos. So you should be taking the best photos you can possibly take and love what you do. And it's still in your realm. And that's kind of like something I took into consideration. Like, I love music. Let me learn the TV side, the website side, the distribution side. Let me learn everything. And I can still be in the realm. My distribution, we have 500 titles. Majority of them are hip hop. We have some of the biggest hip hop legends in the world signed to me. But I have Johnny Cash's drummer signed to me. I have a lot of Latin jazz, R&B. I have a lot of rock artists signed to me. I have churches signed to me. I have an Israeli artist signed to me. I was on the Skype for like 2 hours today with a Czech Republic artist who's going to sign up to me. So when you kind of pigeonhole yourself, that's when you're not going to win. You have to see, like, if this is what you love music as a whole, and if you want to make a career out of it, you have to learn how to make it the main objective. You can still find your pigeonhole niches in between. But if this is what you love to do and you want to make a career out of it, that's what you have to do. Be open.
I love it. Let's talk distribution. That's already come up a couple of times.
Right.
We've said the word a few times. I know you're a voting member of the Grammys. You've got 500 people signed to you on this distribution all over the world. But Mike, I guess let's start here. Distribution, really the details of it are still an enigma to people, what it really consists of, right? Almost my young artists, and let's say myself included to a degree, really only know about distribution is the game has changed.
Yeah.
So we've kind of have access to all these platforms now, whether it be yourself, whether it be CD Baby, 1RPM, all these different DistroKid, all these different models too. Some of them do it for free and take a higher percentage. Some of them charge us per year. Some of them charge us per release. Mm-hmm. What is the thing that I don't understand beyond that? I know it's easy now to get my music up and distributed to Spotify and Apple. And all that, but what am I missing? What are me and the artist getting into the game not understanding? That's
a good question. So my distribution is with Sony Orchard. That's the biggest independent distribution company in the world. So think of like a DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby. Think of that as like YouTube. You do a music video. Anyone could put it on YouTube yourself. The same with, like, you could fart on a record and all those platforms will pick it up. And as a result, you reach, Apple, iTunes, you hit Spotify, Tidal, all the basics, and they pick up everything. So it's cool. If you have an independent artist and you don't have any options, that is the best option to go, is picking the better one of those that fits your need. But the Orchard, we reach the jukeboxes, the libraries, SiriusXM, iHeartRadio, and all these other places they don't reach. Many more places overseas, like Space Shower, which is huge in Japan. All these other places. So basically, they're more selective. The selective ones don't pick up TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid, because they know they pick up everything. So Orchard is a whole different level. Like, even with my distribution, all my titles, I'm very selective what I pick because it represents my brand. So that's what we have. A lot of big hip-hop legends are under my umbrella, and we have a lot of labels under our umbrella. And the thing about it, too, is a lot of these labels, sometimes the artists on label don't even know that they're signed to me, because we do white label situations that go through Orchard. So somebody come to me and say, hey, Rob, I'm not going to sign with you. I'm going to go sign with this label. Well, guess what? The label is going through me anyway. Right. But that's not for me to literally to say which labels are what. But, the thing about distribution is to be careful there's a lot of tricks that people don't realize. There's a lot of fine print. One, no distribution company should own any publishing. So if they say, we don't take publishing, well, good, they're not supposed to. There's no ownership. Distribution, you're technically giving us the right to distribute your product, to the right to license your project. There's no ownership, there's no publishing, nothing like that at all. So that's the major thing. But here's something else a lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of new pop-up distribution companies that come up. The fine print, like, oh, well, I don't have to pay any yearly fees, or, oh, the percentage is like low or next to nothing. What you need to look at is the minimum threshold they pay out. Because here's the thing. A lot of these people say, oh, we'll do this and this, but you read the fine print. You have to make $100 or more to get paid. Now, you understand how hard it is to make $100 if you're getting 0.004 cents a stream.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, fine, yeah, sure, we'll give you a free thing, but they're going to keep all your money because you never make a dime off of them, because you'll never hit that threshold to get paid out. So there's a lot of different things you have to be careful. It's not just people think it's just the two things, the percentage and the sign-up cost. But there's a lot of other elements, too, you have to be careful of. And a lot of them, like, I know DistroKid and TuneCore, they have extra costs for extra things, like YouTube. So people are like, oh, I'm not going to do YouTube. Well, YouTube is fingerprinting. It's very, very important that you do YouTube, because say a DJ does a mixtape and your song's on that mixtape. The DJ uploads his mixtape to YouTube. If it's fingerprinted, you're getting paid off that mixtape. So then other artists like, well, I have videos and I keep getting these notifications that so-and-so owns the rights to it, so I want to turn it down. That is for their benefit. So basically, through Orchard, we monetize all the videos. So now YouTube changed the rules about a year and a half ago, where you have to have a certain amount of hours watched and a certain amount of subscribers before you get paid. So like 95% or more percentage of the accounts on there lost all the monetization. So you can keep putting content out, but you're not getting paid for it. But if you go through someone like Orchard or someone we have the YouTube monetization, now you aren't getting paid for it. So there's different little things that people don't realize. They just see the front page and think, oh, this is what it is. But it's like, it goes back to YouTube. Going through them is like putting your video on YouTube. With us, it's more like trying to get on MTV, when MTV played videos. It's a bigger platform, more places where anyone can put their stuff on YouTube. Not anyone can get the video on MTV. So we do a lot of stuff like that too.
So for clarification on the YouTube thing, I hadn't heard that before. That's interesting. So my channel, this will be on that channel and some other places, but on my channel, I'm monetized at this point. So I make ad revenue. If I have a young artist who opens up their own YouTube page and they're not monetized for ad revenue, but they're showing that video through DistroKid, are they going to collect streaming 0.04, whatever they're paying?
I think YouTube is 0.07. I think it's 3 zeros actually with YouTube.
0.0007, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But they will get a streaming income
if they pay. I think they charge extra for DistroKid and TuneCore.
Okay.
But if they get that option, they should take that option.
Okay.
Because in the long run, you should make a profit off of it. But you never know what happens. I had an artist who put a record out through us, and the record did nothing, but somebody made a meme out of one of his skits, and that meme got millions of views on YouTube. So he made all his money off of YouTube. So you never know. And then somebody have another situation where somebody took a song and put it on a short film, and that short film was on YouTube, and all the monetization went to my artist because that song was fingerprinted. So you never know what's going to happen with it. So you should want to monetize everywhere.
Okay. So for your guys' relationship, Sony Orchard and distribution, is the key. One of the key things I'm taking away is relationships. Relationships are still huge in every aspect of this game. I'm learning that more and more.
Totally. And here's something else too, right? Not to cut you off. So, like, there's a lot of new pop-up. I see a lot of these new distribution companies come up. I've been with Orchard for 10 years. I've been with them for a long time. So, I have the background. I have a lot of big artists. A lot of the thing people don't understand too is a lot of these companies, when they go through an Orchard or go through a company, the company as a whole has to make a threshold. With Orchard, the bare minimum is that company has to make at least $1,000 a month. So these new companies, I have a deal with Orchard, sign with me. Chances are those companies might never see a check, and they're signing people under them that will never see a check. And a lot of them, that's why they come and go. You'll see a distribution company come up now. You put all your time and money to go into a distribution company, and in 6 months they're gone. So there's a lot of things that people don't know behind the scenes. So when you look for a company, you got to make sure they've been active for a while. They're not a brand new company that just started, because you may have that situation where that person never get paid to pay you, and then they shut down. Now your project's off. You have to re-upload it. You lost all your streams that you've been busting your butt to do, and you're at ground zero. So what do you do?
When you sign somebody for a distribution deal, obviously you're telling us there are qualifications. You won't just take trash. What is it? Are you signing for a release of one song, just like if I upload, or are you signing an agreement almost like a record deal for multiple, or it depends?
It's a project by project situation. Okay. Because I don't lock anybody into anything. I mean, ideally, I know a lot of companies will not do this, but my goal is if you sign through my distribution, I'm not a label. I help people get label deals. Like, I want you to get bigger than me and go sign to a label, because that looks good for me. you got your start with me, then you got signed here and there. I did a big showcase in New York at the rooftop of Daily Motion in September. I had 9 of my distribution artists perform. I brought out Orchard. I brought out all of Tommy Boy Records. I brought out Cinematic, which T-Pain's on. I brought Joey Badass's label, Pro Error. Flat Tie from Cold Chill Records, he came. So I brought a bunch of labels out to see my artists because I want them to get bigger than me. You know, I want them to come back and say, yeah, I got started with Humag Multimedia, Humag Distribution, opposed to me just trying to hoard them and keep them just to make money. To me, I want to see everybody win. So it comes down to what I look for. Yes, we only sign good music, but there's a second qualification which is just as big to me, and that is I have a conversation with all my artists, everybody, because I want to know you. I don't want to just be a guy hiding behind a computer that you talk to my customer service rep, you know, because to me, if we're vibing and I get a good feeling from you that you're not going to be a problem, that we can work together, that's more important to me than having somebody who's going to sell a lot of records, but I can't deal with, and I'm going to cringe every time they call. So, like I just had a meeting now with this artist, Ricky Corleone, who just left. The energy was amazing in this room, just amazing, you know, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. Like I said, the call with the Czech Republic just this morning, a 2-hour Skype call. Energy was amazing. And that's the kind of stuff, when I hear the music and the person, that's what makes me say, okay, I don't advertise my company. I don't promote my company. All my companies, all referrals and repeat customers. Because to me, I want to know the person. Well, most companies don't even care. So.
And I can vouch for that to a degree, Rob, because before Rob and I did this a few weeks ago, we were on the phone chopping it up for an hour. So
yeah.
You were filling me out.
From 3 to 4 in the morning, I'm up every single night, and I'm on the phone. I'm talking to my clients. You know, I know all their kids. I know all the problems they have going on in their personal lives, and that's what makes people want to work harder and work together. It's the energy. Are
you comfortable talking about openly what your process is like for contracting for a single release, or is that
yeah, absolutely. No,
they pay a one-time fee. They pay a percentage.
Oh yeah, we do it's a $200 one-time fee for the first project, $150 each additional. Now that project could be a single, an EP, or an album, and $150 each additional, and it's a one-time fee. And we do a 75. We just started this year. We're doing 70/30s. We just dropped to a 75/25. So basically 25%, but keep in mind, we do have a way bigger reach than all these other places. So, and you'll make more money through us than somebody else. Plus you have someone behind you. You can call, ask questions. Say, hey, Rob, this month I didn't sell anything, but the month before I did. All right, cool. Let's look at the numbers. Let's analyze what did you do different? Like someone could walk you through it and figure things out. Also, and I think is as a distribution company, I do not do promotion. I tell everyone I don't do promotion, but I do. Because the bottom line, if the record doesn't sell, I'm not a label, I'm a distribution company. But I do a lot of movie soundtracks, music supervision, TV shows. I just put a lot of my artists on TV shows. I did casting for the show The Four on Fox. Got a lot of my artists audition for The Four. They all got flown out to LA for free and had a free week out, a couple days out in LA. I did a movie in London last year. I got 13 of my artists in that movie as far as their music. I had a show, if you see this picture here, it was a show back in the 80s and 90s called Dance Party USA and Dancing on Air. I actually brought it back 3 years ago and it aired on Fuse TV. And it was a reality show based off of us making the show. And I had about 60 of my artist songs played on Fuse. So I'm always trying to help my artists. I do showcases a lot. And like I did the New York one. My big birthday bash is coming up March 6th. I have a lot of my artists I put on my birthday bash, and all these big hip-hop legends and artists and radio people come out to watch it perform. So I'm always trying to make my artists win, which is why we always have so much repeat business, because that's something you won't get through a TuneCore or CD Baby or DistroKid, where you're just a number. To me, you're friends. You know, we're working together, work together. So
I have heard that about you. So 500 plus artists signed to you, and they've all got your cell phone number.
Every single one. I talk to them all the time.
Who else can say that?
I know.
That's pretty nice.
Well, thank you. Well, I've had 10 years in risk management. You know, I learned how to in finance. So I learned how to like talk to people, work with people. I mean, Chrysler was my client. DuPont was my client. Windsor Door was my client. El Al Israel Airlines was my client. So imagine me losing Chrysler, working at Merrill Lynch. When I worked at Merrill Lynch, if I lost that account, which is a multi-million-dollar account, if I lost it because I didn't have it's all relationships. So I had to talk to people a certain way. And I think that's what kind of set me up for this industry too, because I love this industry. It's just the best industry in the world. So, but part of it is customer relations.
Absolutely.
Hey, and like you said earlier, it's all about your relations. So
let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that's so important. And I would never knock, I know a lot of people my age and older knock the younger generation for being online so much and not being so social. And I don't agree. I'm the digital marketing MBA. I live behind the screen myself quite a bit. But I think a key difference is I understand the relationship concept. In fact, I have something I teach my students, and it's called Go Online to Get Offline. I go on to build relationships to then where you and I are going to go have a cup of coffee or a beer at some point, not just to stay here.
Yeah.
And so as a young artist coming into this game, 19, 20, 22 years old, what are the first maybe one or two things that you would tell somebody sitting in your office who says, Chris, I really want to do this. I really want to be somebody, and you think they've got the talent? What would be the first couple of things you would kind of school them maybe on the business that most of these kids aren't understanding?
Yeah. One thing is with social media, it's how to be careful on social media, because the biggest thing people don't realize, you can always say, oh, this is my page. This is my page. And I post what I want. But people are watching your page. For example, I did the movie I did in London. They checked my Facebook page because it's a bunch of kids in the movie. So they wanted to make sure that I'm not posting booty shaking, me cursing. I don't get, if you look at my Facebook page, I don't get political. I don't get religious. I don't talk anything negative. And people see that, and that helps attract people. If I post something that's going to turn someone away, no one's going to say, yeah, I turned away because you posted this post. It's going to turn away. If you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to do something, and they see your page, you won't get that job. And you sit there, you never know why they turned you down. So even if you go in and you say something stupid that could offend somebody, maybe that could offend an A&R looking at your page, which is why I don't get political, because of that reason. Oh, I can say F Trump, this, and this. Well, the guy who wants to work with me could love Trump. So he may not hire me or work with me just because of that reason. So be very careful on social media what you post. Don't just post whatever you want. Use it as a if you're an artist. If you're going as an artist, be careful what you post, because this is what your reputation is going to be. Also, you got to understand it's an open market now, where back in the day, like I went to Polygram Records way back in the day. I put out Jay-Z's first single in my lifetime. And Jay with the Damager, Blase, Dougie Fresh, Speedy Man. It was a whole different game back then. You know what I'm saying? Because you had A&Rs, and the A&R's job was to teach you how to dress. They would have classes to teach you how to speak at an interview. If someone's interviewing you, they would teach you what to say and how to present yourself. Now it doesn't matter. That A&R now is someone looking how many social media followers you have and present it to a label. That's what A&R is in 2020. So there's a sea of millions of artists out there, everyone trying to be. And the people that are winning are the ones with the social media following. And the reason why, people complain about the radio. The radio sucks nowadays. Okay, well, here's one of the reasons why people don't think about. They sign people off of social media. Now, if you're a kid and you're in school, you're surrounded by 200, 300, 400 people a day. When you're like our age, we surround maybe 1 to 2 people a day. So, hey, follow me on Instagram. Hey, okay, great, I got 2 followers today. Well, kids are surrounded by them all day. And if they got a following, more and more people are going to follow them. So it's easier for them to blow up than somebody outside of school or outside of an environment that big. So you have to make sure that they're looking for that now. Everyone's looking for followers, and you got to be genuine, but you have to figure out strategies how to get that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and also one more thing too.
Sure.
I know a big thing now is cursing and all this kind of stuff in the songs. When you start cursing in your music, you're automatically eliminating radio. Now, some people say, "Oh, it's not me for the radio," but you already shot your chance before you even tried. Like, who knows? Someone said, "Damn, this is hot," but it's just too many curses. You just never know. And again, they're not going to tell you, oh, we turned your song down because of this. They're just going to go past you and listen to somebody else's song. So think about it to have that song.
And that's another great point, another tough conversation. But because it's hip hop, right? So making music without cursing, then we get into this Will Smith thing. But to your point, people reach out to me all the time and they want help doing their video promotion on YouTube, but it has them smoking weed, carrying guns, and cursing. Now I can't run an ad with that video. I have to find a 30-second portion of that clip, and sometimes I can't even find a 30-second portion that doesn't have any of that. I can't even create an ad for you.
Yeah.
I can't have DJs play it, my DJ friends on the radio, and I've got to ask people, can you go back in and make me a radio edit? Can you clean it? So I think even if you're going to curse, you should at least be wise enough to make a video that's somewhat conservative, unless you're just going to drop the $8,000 and push it on World Star. And have a clean radio edit that people can help you market it and share it. But also, to something you were just saying, it made me think too. I understand a lot about foreign cultures. I've traveled a lot like you in Asia, and you get a song that starts taking off in China or Japan or Korea where it's much more conservative.
Yeah.
Then they come over and look at your Instagram and it's very vulgar. You might lose a lot of opportunities.
Totally.
That could have opened up for you. You made a very strong point with that.
Yeah. So I have a music video show. It's called Video Vision. It's a half-hour show that airs on broadcast television. And just the way the show is structured, it's a half-hour show. Each episode is hosted by one artist. They will introduce other people's artists leading up to the world broadcast premiere of their video. So we get submissions from all over, all the labels, a lot of independent artists. We have to be very careful with the videos. So even like there could be one scene with someone smoking a blunt for like 3 seconds. They just ruined the video. You know, we have to either, if we really want to, I usually edit it out myself. It's just quicker for me to do it than to send it back, you know. But a lot of these videos you can't use, like girls and thongs, strip clubs. We can't air that stuff. And here's the thing. People are like, why? I've seen stuff like that on TV all the time. Okay, on cable. But here's the thing. My show airs all over the world. So while American culture, television is a little looser, Saudi Arabia is super duper tight. So I'm not going to edit my show, then re-edit it for this country, then re-edit it for this country. I make it one show that I can just ship everywhere. So that's some of the killers. The episode I just put out just now, 2 days, yesterday, this guy, Marty J, he won this contest. It's a kid. So the episode I put together, I had to make sure it was squeaky clean because kids are going to be watching this episode as well. So when you have your video, you have to make sure you understand that, you know, you are, just like you said, you're pigeonholing yourself if you do certain things. So you have to be proactive with that and let the director of your video know, let's leave this out. Let's not show a gun in the scene. Let's not have the twerking going on in the scene. You know what I'm saying? Let's just figure something else to put there so we can air it everywhere. And then people, oh, I made it for YouTube. Well, again, why? Why wouldn't you try to shoot for the top? You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And the music's becoming so much more global that you've got to start thinking globally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, this is interesting. So I know for a fact you're going to get spammed to death by,
okay. All right.
by a lot of artists that follow me, and I'm sorry. So beyond distribution and music, what else have you got going on that you'd really like people to know about?
It's funny because, like, when I worked a 9-to-5 job 10 years ago, my day was so structured, and what I tried to do was, if I'm working 10 hours at the day job, when I come home, I had to at least put half of that into my personal business. So I kept building them, and that was one of my secrets. You know what I mean? If I spent 10 hours, I went home and worked 5 hours every single night. And even during my lunch breaks, I would take my laptop and do stuff when everyone's going to the bar for lunch. I'm in the back corner of the cafeteria with my laptop working. So I'm always trying to do something, man. So now I'm at a point in my life where, like, I don't know what my schedule is tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll open my laptop. There'll be like 30 requests. I just pick what I want to do and I do it. I just did a movie in September till Thanksgiving, day before Thanksgiving. I got hired to be a consultant coordinator for a movie called The Retaliators. And it's funded, it was the same people that did the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt, which was the biggest grossing movie of all time on Netflix. So, like, it's all rock artists like Tommy Lee, Five Finger Death Punch, Papa Roach, all these people. But it was such an awesome time. It was a great cast. I shut down. I was working like 12 to 14 hours every single day on this movie. I was hired originally for 2 weeks, but they said, man, you're doing such a great job. Can we keep you on for the whole movie? Because I was like, all right, I can shut down for 2 weeks. And I was like, dang, I shut down for 9 weeks? But I was having so much fun doing it, I didn't care. So, and the cool part about that was while we're filming it, when the executive producers came up to me and said, "Hey, we need to do a music video for Papa Roach and this group called The Who, which is a Mongolian rock group. And it's a remake to the original song called Wolf Totem, which had 23 million views on YouTube. But now we're doing a different version featuring Papa Roach. Can you produce it?" So I'm like, okay. So I ended up producing that video while I'm doing it. So I just got a call. We have 2 more movies on deck this year, big budget movies with the same company. So I love doing movies. I love doing TV shows. I love doing everything. I have a comedy show I produce once a month with Bob Sumner and this guy, Jack Curtis. Bob was the co-creator of the HBO Def Comedy Jam. And he has a show now on True TV called Laugh Mob Laugh Tracks. So we do that show once a month. There's always something, man. Like, it's like every single year it just gets better and better. But, if I involves around music, I just got called today to be the speaker at the Harrisburg, the Millennium Music Conference in February. I know my big birthday bash is coming up in March. There's always something. But whatever I do, I'm at a point in my life where I get to pick whatever I want to do. And if I like it, I do it. If I don't, if I feel I'm going to regret it or, I just don't. And that's great.
And again, I'm going to go back to this because it's something I'm harping on a lot, but relationships. Mm-hmm. How do you form relationships in the industry? How does a young artist, what's key to that?
There is a lot of keys to that. I am a person. I'll talk to anybody. I'll have a good time at a funeral. I learned that you have to, if this is your industry, you have to network with everybody. Like, I have my little networking secrets. I could tell you some of them. So when I was getting started, what I used to do was go to the showcases. I used to work heavy with iStandard and Coast to Coast and all those companies. I used to go to other shows, and I would speak there. I was one of the guest judges there. And if I wanted to speak to somebody, if there's somebody I wanted to talk to, of course, everyone else is trying to talk to that person too. So one thing I would do is buy that person a drink. It's like, yo, let me buy you a drink real quick. Now, there's 2 things that happens with you doing that. Drink money costs $5. You just bought yourself time one-on-one while you're waiting for the drink to come, right? So now you have a couple times. Now, he's going to ignore everybody else and talk to you because this person's waiting for the drink. Number 2, this guy subconsciously now feels he owes you something.
It's the law of reciprocation. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like little secret things that I do. I'm always in a good mood. I'm always positive. I always speak good. I never speak negative of anybody. That's one thing too, is I don't believe in haters. I don't talk negative. We all been burnt. We all been through our situations. Trust me more than most people. But even if somebody burnt me, if I see him at a bar, I will buy them a drink. Just because it's not worth carrying all that negativity around. And that's one thing people do, and you just gotta let that all go and understand, like, everyone thinks the music business is huge for all these people, but it's really, really small of those that are actually doing something. That circle is small. If you can get in that circle, no matter if you like him or not, those are the people you need to deal with. So let it all go. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Be the bigger person. But even if they're not, if it's somebody bigger than you want to talk to, don't be afraid. I mean, the worst they're going to do is say no or blow you off, but you never know what's going to lead to.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
So I see over your shoulder, my favorite rapper, Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
I got to say, you got a phenomenal office from what I can see already. Show us a couple of your trophies or prized possessions or what you got going on there. Brag on yourself a bit.
You really want me to?
Absolutely.
I hate doing this.
I'm inviting you to, though.
So this was an award given to me by Master P and Jesse Jackson for my contribution to hip hop through the Hip Hop Union. I won the Pocono Film Fest with my hip hop documentary. That white thing behind me is my boy Devin. He drew a picture of Prodigy, and I spoke on a panel of Prodigy and Freeway. And Devin was a huge fan, so he drew this picture of Prodigy and wanted to give it to him. So I said, yeah, you can give it to him, but you have to make me a copy. So he made me a copy. Prodigy signed his copy, my copy, and then he died like 3 months later.
Yeah.
So if you look at the coffin, you'll see that picture, the original up there. But there's only 2 autograph versions in the world because he autographed mine, autographed Devin. By the way, but with Devin, I don't know if you heard, but it's all over the news. He just signed a $3 million deal with Gilly the Kid and Wallow for their podcasts, $1 million worth of game. So
Wow.
it is signed. It came out last week through Barstool. So yes, I'm really proud of Devin. I don't know, man. There's so much stuff. That's the poster. My name's on it. You can see it. That's Ryan Dunn and Bam Margera's movie. I was the music supervisor that came out through Lionsgate. Down the road, I was the music supervisor that came out through Image. I mean, there's so much stuff, man. I don't even know where. I got 2 awards from the city of Baltimore. I got 3 from Philadelphia. I did a TV commercial. Won an award of excellence for best TV commercial. I don't know, man. There's so much stuff. It's just that was a whole wall of just CD covers autographed. Everything on the wall is autographed. So I got tons of records and there's just a lot. But I don't know. It's just a day by day thing, man. Just you know what I came from too. When I was with Babyface, his camp in '98, I was in LA with my boy Mike Clark. So Mike was friends with Daryl from a group called As Yet, which was a big R&B group back in the day. The big song Last Night. So I remember Daryl's like, yeah, we're going to hang out with Jermaine, my boy Jermaine. Okay. Come to find out it's Jermaine Jackson. So here's my boy Mike, Daryl, and Jermaine Jackson and me. This is '98, before cell phones. We had cameras. And I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. So here I am with Jermaine Jackson. And Jermaine's like, yeah, we're going to this party. Okay, so we follow him to a party. It's Nelson Mandela's party. So now we're there with Nelson Mandela. So it's like, and I'm thinking after everything kind of fell apart on me when I was in LA and I came back, I was thinking of all the missed opportunities, all the people I hung out with. I have like no proof. I said, hey, I was with Nelson Mandela. Like, yeah, right, whatever. So I don't know, something inside me is like, why don't I just document if I'm with somebody, take a picture or have them sign something? You know, I'm not a fan guy, like, oh my God, sign my record. Like, I'll hang out with them first. And oh, by the way, you sign this for me real quick. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I learned how to talk to a lot of these artists and celebrities as a friends, not as a fan. And they like that. And I learned to speak to them that way. And that's why I have a lot of these relationships now.
It's another great point. You know, how old were you? 98 at that time.
I was 25. 25.
25.
So here's the problem. I was young.
Yeah.
Young. I didn't know. I'm in the club. Here's the thing too. I'm in the Nelson Mandela's party with Jermaine Jackson and everyone else, and all these. Wesley Snipes is there. The Tia and Samara twins are there. All these people. And all I'm thinking about is the girls there. Like, I'm not thinking like I'm here with Nelson Mandela and Jimmy. I'm like, oh damn, look at that one. You know, wow, we're in the VIP. Let me see what shorty I can pull. Because I'm 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about that. And that when I ended up coming back to the East Coast, like, I thought about all that. I'm like, all these people that I met, all these amazing connections. And this is before Facebook. I don't have them. I didn't get any phone numbers.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to reach out to them. So
let that be the lesson to the young people right now listening, man. Don't miss those opportunities.
Yeah.
Being so caught up in partying or chasing skirts or just being young and not aggressive enough to form relationships and to take advantage of that. There's a great book. I felt it was a little, it was great information, a little juvenile, I guess, maybe written for a younger audience, clearly. The Third Door by Alex Banyan, that I think every young artist should read. But it's all about networking and how to network and get yourself to those big names. It's a great way to do it. So where can people find out more about you? Where can they, I got one more question. Hang on. I just thought of it.
What you got?
I saw when you were speaking in Korea, you had a Dana Dane shirt on, which made me like you even more.
That's my homie.
So you know Dana Dane?
Yeah, this is his record next to the Run DMC.
I see it.
Yeah, Dana Dane. Oh yeah, that's my man.
Man. That brought back some memories for me.
That was one of my first records. That was one of my favorite albums. Everyone talks about Slick Rick with storytelling, right? But that Dana Dane album,
Cinderfella.
Cinderfella was my joint. You know, Delancey Street.
Yeah.
All those, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, where you want people to check you out at? You want them to watch any shows or come find you on some platform?
Yeah, I'm everywhere. So let me, if you have a Roku or Apple or Google Play, so I have 3 channels you can download. Humag Multimedia. So iFame TV was the first hip hop channel on Roku. We launched that in 2012. Video Vision's my music video channel, but then I have Humag Multimedia. So Humag Multimedia, Apple, Roku, Google Play. It's a free cell phone app you could download. HumagTV.com. So we are like the music version of Netflix. We have so much content up there, from music-based movies to concerts to music videos. There's Humag TV, my hip hop show, Video Vision, my video show, Saturday Comedy is my Saturday comedy show. It's my comedy one. I have the whole catalog, the Dance Party USA, Dance on Air, which is the shows from the 80s and 90s, performances like Tupac, Gangstar, Heavy D, Madonna, New Kids on the Block. Everyone's on there. DMTV is my dance music show. We have hundreds of videos, from hip hop videos to dance music videos to R&B, everything. So if you have a Roku or Apple, download Humag Multimedia and iFame TV and Video Vision. Also, or download a free app as well. Social media, everything's easy. It's Humag, WHOMAG. And for distribution, humagdistribution.com. We're always looking for some cool talent. Some good talent that are good people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what I'm going to be watching tonight.
What are you going to be watching tonight?
All those channels.
You'll be doing it for like weeks, because I guarantee you there is no other music channel that has more content than we have. I can guarantee you that. And
I guarantee you I'm about to go on a binge.
And we update it all the time. There's a movie section. We have exclusive movies like with Capote Noriega, exclusive stuff with the Jacksons, Usher, that you can only find on my TV network.
All right, man. I appreciate you. I'll put all the links to all this in the show notes.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for your time, Rob.
You got it, man. Thanks, everybody.